episode is brought to you by GameFound. Create a free pledge manager for your project.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
And I am Mike DeLisio. Welcome.
Mike does not use contractions like the rest
I'm
of us.
anti-contraction, Tom. I don't believe in them.
I do not
I don't know.
believe in them.
Contr-
Come on, cat. Come on.
You caught me right away, Z.
That was pretty fast. All right. Before we get started with today's episode of Crowd Surfing, two things. First of all, we want to say thank you to some of our Kickstarter backers. We want to say thank you to Stein Olson, to Claude, Laura, and Eliza Bridges. Tom Butler wants us to thank those who are serving in the military. And we also want to say thank you to Gordon Hart. So thank you all for supporting our show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Secondly, next week on Thursday is American Thanksgiving, which I know most of the world doesn't know a lot about, but here in America, we treat as a fairly large holiday. So we will be taking that day off and the day before. So there will be no crowd surfing next week. So we're going to be going through more projects than normal. And I did cut out some more of the dinky projects for that. We're going to be looking at projects that are ending in the next 17 days or less. So with that in mind, if it might not be 17 days, it might be 16 days. It depends. It's 17 days from when I put it together, which is Monday. So
Okay.
probably 15 days. Close enough so that in 2 weeks, there will still be time for us to talk about things. But that being said, as we go through these, if we miss a big project that is funding, let me know in the comments. This is not a time for you to tell me every little project. If it's not funding, it is what it is. We're just, we only have so much time. Mike is very agreeable today.
Well, look.
Yeah, but he's not convinced, though. He's that guy like, kind of like, I'm not sure.
I'm not positive. I know that no matter how hard you try, Tom, every so often something slips through, and it's not for lack of looking. It's just every so often.
Yeah, I want people to realize that we don't skip them because I don't like a project or anything. And this time I was like double checking. But the Kickstarter is not an easy site to search at all or browse. So I use usually KickTrack to go through it, but even then, not everything makes it through.
KickTrack?
So,
Sounds fishy. Sounds real fishy.
Let's go.
we better get started. We got a lot of projects here. So here we go.
We do.
Shogun without a katana.
Yes. Shogun
Sure.
Sans Katana.
Well, it says Shogun No Katana.
So which is it? Is it Shogun or is it Katana? Shogun. No. Katana.
I'll tell you, this one, that was a real dodgy video. The voiceover in the video is real dodgy.
It is.
The video's nicely animated, but that voice, whoever's doing that voice the whole time I was cringing a little bit.
Right on
listening to that video. I think this might be a French and it's an Italian company.
It's an Italian company. Yes.
I'm guessing it's an Italian person who also happens to speak English, who is then doing a pretty terrible Japanese accent. You know what I mean? So it's
maybe.
Like, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
The game itself, I like the artwork quite a bit. I mean, I like but the game it's giving me a real vibe of been there, done that. Just the mechanically, like what I'm looking at, I'm like, okay, you're collecting stuff.
Oh, they did Wendake though. I did like Wendake quite a bit.
I've heard that Kepler's good, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it's good, but
yeah, I would say the same about Wendake. It's not great, but it was good, and it did something a little novel with how you did your action selection. And what's interesting is that now that I see this, and knowing that they did Wendake, there's some similarities with you sliding things in. This looks almost more like a slide puzzle mechanic, which, if I'm honest, I don't love because I'm not very good at slide puzzles. But Wendake did something similar where it was a 3x3 grid and you slid little tiles down. Did you ever play that?
I haven't played it. I don't know if Tom has.
Yeah.
Have you, Tom?
What game is this? It's
called
Wendake
no Euro.
Actually, Renegade picked it up.
No.
Renegade picked it up and brought it over. Okay.
And Kepler. They did Kepler too.
Kepler I've definitely played. I don't think I played Wendake. Now someone's gonna go find my review of it and say, "You reviewed this thing."
Well, that would say something if that's the case.
I like this Catan display, but other than that,
Z, when you say been there, done that, I look at this screen that Tom is on right now, and they both look like either Tokaido or Tang Garden. So you're right; they look very similar to other things out there.
Right. This is like leftover Tokaido artwork. It absolutely looks that way. And then just looking at sort of cards, it's like, oh, it's a fan. It's a katana. It's it's like, oh my goodness, yeah, all right. I've nothing screaming out at me that is reaching, that's grabbing me by the collar and saying, you got to play me. It's not working. It's not working for me.
That being said, it is doing quite well.
It is doing,
and it might be a really cool game. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm not as disinterested as you are. I do get the been there, done that. I like the cover a lot.
Yeah.
I think the hammering and stuff, but it does look almost themeless. So we'll have to wait and see.
Sure.
All right, then Neo-Morphosis, Infestation.
No, try again.
No, Katana.
Neo-Morphosis.
So there's two kinds of dungeon crawls these days.
Yes.
There's generic fantasy and generic sci-fi.
And this is somehow both.
You're right.
My
favorite, if I remember that this
black here.
Yeah. My favorite aspect of this campaign, if it's the one I think it is if you're scrolling through all of the names of these monsters, like you've got all of these here. One of them was like, I don't remember, it was like Karen or Jenny or I can't remember which one it was. I'm going to be upset if I don't see it.
Look,
right
I'm
here.
sorry.
Oh, right there. Shelly.
Shelly is the name of that monster. That's great. Look, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I double dog dare you to look up Deep Madness and put it side by side with this and tell me that they're different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, I'm sorry. Like, they're almost identical designs. The graphic design on the Kickstarter is almost identical. The covers of the games are almost identical.
Right.
This is generic. Generic is too nice for this.
Derivative, maybe.
Well, who would, guys? Let's take a look at Dark Gate Games. Well, this is not they've done this project before and canceled it. Now it's doing much better. They did this Vampire Hunters and Dark Rituals. I've not played any of their games, so I don't know.
This is interesting, though. This is we've seen this here before, where you've got companies that seem to have projects that don't work, they cancel, and then they come back a second time. So I don't know exactly what that says.
Well,
yeah. So I'm not sure if they figure out maybe what was missing from the first one, or I think that's something to at least pay note to, though.
Yeah, it is weird. It's kind of like free. It's sort of like a good way to get feedback from the crowd at large. You know what I mean? Be like, hey, what would you change? Okay, we got feedback. Cancel. Right. Let's launch again.
Right. Needs more Shelly.
All right, Sakura Arms, Duel Under Falling Cherry Blossoms. This is a game that originally AEG published.
Yeah.
And then Level 99 got a hold of it because they have the patent on if you use a fighting game. They just come and take it. They're like, it's ours. I played this one. I was not overly impressed with it. Here's the thing. It has a feeling of games like BattleCon. So the fact that Level 99 picked it up, I would go crazy having this and several other games and remembering the slight differences of rules between these duels back and forth. This one's just a bunch of women. I like the art. The art's fine. I just remember thinking that it was okay at best.
I've heard this game. I mean, this name has been around, but it's never been one that I've gone out of my way to play. So I know really very little other than what I've seen here. It doesn't look like the type of game that I'm terribly interested in, but obviously it has an audience out there. I want to say that I've played another game by this designer though, the Back of Fire, because that sounds really familiar to me, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah. I mean, Tom's right about this being a level 99 game, which is both good because anybody looking for level 99 at level 99 is likely to be familiar with this kind of game. By that same token, though, they probably already own a game that's very similar to this game from level 99. So, and I disagree with Tom. I don't really like the artwork.
Doesn't do a lot for me.
But here I am. I'm being negative. I say one positive thing. He's like, I disagree. All negative. By the way, folks, if you're just and we're having some severe problems with Comcast in our area, so we blame everything on them.
Indeed.
All right. Hoop Godz plus second Rap Godz. So if you don't know, Kickstarter has some pretty stringent rules. You can't run the same project twice. But if you couch it underneath another one, and this is, I'm not coming down on this Kickstarter at all. Lots of Kickstarters do this.
Yeah.
Like back and get the original game. I believe Rap Godz was originally on Kickstarter. This is a basketball game. It's getting good reviews. I gotta say, not a fan of the art. So
this juice mechanism thing looks interesting.
It does.
That's like the one thing the one part of it where I thought, oh, this is cool. I'm not, I'm not really into basketball. The artwork for me in this isn't really, it's sort of like tongue in cheek. It's supposed to look handmade, I think. You know what I mean? Like the cards, the graphics, the writing on the cards is supposed to look like someone just did it there in the moment. For the theme, I think, is what they're going for. And I don't really like that look, but controlling the juice and where you assign it, and when it comes down, how much of it you cycle back in so that you can utilize it again, that looks interesting. And then Rap Godz I never did play, so I don't know.
No, I haven't played that either.
Rap Godz was fine. It very, very light. This also looks light. I'm always suspect of any fast-paced sports game being made into a board game. There's no basketball games out there, but hey, this could be the first. We'll just have to wait to see when it comes out.
And that was going to be what I say is that, this is a unique theme, and I think that it's one of the markets that have not been very well tapped is sports. I mean, I know that there's this kind of stereotype that people that like games don't necessarily like sports. I don't know how true that is. I think it's maybe more of a Venn diagram than people might think. So, I'm good with more sports themed games.
All right, then we have Sons of Faeriell. Now, we have been not super positive so far in this, and I don't want you to come across so negative, so I'm just going to say straight out, I think this game looks pretty as all get out. I'm a big fan of the look of this. I like these masks that the miniatures wear. I think the cover gives a peaceful feeling. It might be a tad boring, but the miniatures feel different. We're always seeing these games with miniatures. These feel different. The game is probably a little abstract, but the components look top notch. And it's Tabula. Yeah. I tend to like their stuff.
It definitely got my attention. I will say that the look of it was very, very striking and unique, and it did not look like everything else out there. It was hard for me to get a grip on kind of what the game was about. I think you're right. I think it's probably a pretty abstract game, but I do like the look. I like the aesthetic of the whole thing. It's got my attention. I'll put it to you that way. I don't love the name because it's hard to figure out exactly how to say it.
All their games are like that.
Yeah.
Mia sounds like you have a lisp.
Right.
Ikeon. But their games are usually, they're in that very, very mixed game genres. Like they're Euro games, but maybe there's some Ameritrash. They're miniature games, but they're not really a miniature game. and they just have a different feel than everything on the market. But this doesn't look like it's in one of their universes. This is a little bit different. I didn't even realize it was a Zem right away because they usually have that almost horrific looking dreamscape type miniatures. These just look cool.
I like the minis for sure. I think it's got a cool look. This was one of the first videos this week that was really useless, and there are a lot. There were a lot of videos this week that you watch the whole video, and once it's all said and done, you're like, great, that was zero help. You know, like that was just you wasted the first impression that you could make on something that's perhaps flashy, but told me nothing. You know, if you can produce that kind of quality, maybe just like make a short film or something, because it was amazing. It also had nothing to do with this game. So, but I agree.
There were a lot of those this week.
It looks nice. I think I might be a little less excited than both of you, but I agree that it looks nice.
All right, then jumping over to Penny Dreadfun: The Great London Adventure. We actually played this live on the Dice Tower. I want to say, was it last week or was it 2 weeks ago?
Week before last, I think.
Yeah, okay. So Penny Dreadfun is a deck building game. Although I got to be honest, the scenario we played, there was very little deck building that happened.
Right, very little.
Very scenario based. You are fighting monsters, aliens who are, and I'm not making this up, they're peeing in the flower pots and causing other sorts of havoc on Earth. I'm not. That's what the scenario said.
Yep.
Oh no, they weren't aliens. They were demons. Sorry, demons.
They were
peeing in the flower pots.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's enough for me to back it. Here we go.
I'm sure. So you can play it on Tabletopia, and you can go watch our playthrough of it. It's, like I said, deck builder. I feel like it moved a little slow for me, but we only did see one scenario, so maybe other scenarios. Like I was kind of getting excited about the deck building aspect, and then we barely were able to get into that. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, too early here to make a real call on it.
What do you think about the name? Do you like the name of it?
The problem is it's so close to Penny Dreadful, right?
Right.
Which is the point. I mean, that's what that's the joke.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a pun. A terrible, terrible pun.
It's really, this one is, Kickstarters don't normally come down to the wire like this one.
Yeah, this one is close.
45 hours to go with $3,000 left. Like, that's close, man.
It is. It is close.
I think they'll make it, but you're right, that is close.
All
right.
All right. Here's these pick
All right, here we go. Buckle in.
Mod rules. Inject chaos into your favorite family games. So in these are packs of cards that you can play with classic games, and then this is where they go insane. Well,
that's where. Actually, okay.
They're like, you can play this with Monopoly, Candyland, and Texas Hold'em. Then they go out of their way to not call them Monopoly. They call it for real estate trading games, putting the word Monopoly in it, then sugar-themed racing board games, and then they say you need to watch out for lawyers, but then they add the names in anyway. It's super weird. I don't get it. They even give you the joke here. They're like, just so you don't get it, Southern State Grasp and Poker means Texas Hold'em.
I agree. And in the video, they did the same thing. They're like, for Southern State Grasp and Poker, that is to say, Monopoly, Texas Hold'em Poker, and Candyland, respectively. I'm like, wait, I thought you were trying to not say it. You just said it. Plus, Texas Hold'em, I think you're allowed to say that. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not even owned by anybody. It's so dumb.
This looks terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't want this for any game. If someone came to me and said, Tom, I made something for Ticket to Ride that just does random things again in this game, I would say, get that out of my site. What is wrong with you?
This is sort of like a halfway between making a whole new game, but not quite being able to pull that off. So we're just going to take old, busted games and add even more garbage. And that's maybe generalizing. Old Busted is not necessarily true for these. Like Texas Hold'em is fine, but Monopoly is fine by Monopoly rules. But this isn't helping. This is just chaos, and they admit to it. They're like, yeah, this is random, crazy, chaotic. Like if you look through the cards, one of the Monopoly ones is everybody get up, move over one seat, and sit back down, and now everything in front of you is now yours. Shoot me in the face.
It's so terrible. I mean, you're about to win the game. I'd be like, nope.
No, this is this. I don't understand why this went past the idea stage. I just sometimes you have to be able to say, you know what, maybe not, maybe not, and I just don't see this having any merit. So, and when you come with those first three, Monopoly, Candyland, and Texas Hold'em, I mean, that doesn't give me a lot of,
what adults are sitting around playing Candyland anyway?
Right. I just don't.
It's like they looked in their closet and these were the two games they had. And then they're like, what? Give me another game. Here's a deck of cards. Texas Hold'em. Oh, let's hope people who own that don't sue us. So we'll change the name. And at this point, everyone's too embarrassed to tell them.
This is definitely not the worst looking game or worst looking project we've ever looked at, but it just might be the worst. I really think that. I really mean that. This might just be the worst thing we've ever seen offered.
Right. And we saw food go through a 3D printer, so keep that in mind.
That's revolutionary compared to this.
All right. Reckless Sloths, made by a company called Reckless. Now, this actually is from Iceland. So
interesting. Okay.
I don't remember seeing this when we were there, Z, and I feel like this is a legitimate thing to say because Iceland's not a very big country.
I know. Yeah, that's true.
I feel like we would have seen this. I really, really dislike this artwork. The sloths look like rubber men. This is a take that style game, but the reason it's on here because there's 612 backers. Yeah. And it's made almost 25,000. I got to talk about it.
I will say this, for the seemingly unendless parade of animal-themed take-that games that we see every single week, there are a couple of cards that I think have a sense of humor that I actually find relatively humorous. Like
what?
So often they're going for these jokes that are just, they just land with a thud. But some of these I thought were pretty funny. There's one like surrounded by corn. I don't know why. I found that humorous. I think that they've got their, they're going for the stupid, and I think that they maybe know that they're going for the stupid, whereas some of these other ones don't quite get how stupid they are. This one I don't think is at least taking itself seriously at all. The artwork is not good. The gameplay itself doesn't look like anything that I would be interested in at all. But this one, for some reason, bothers me less than the ones we look at every single week that are like it.
I just lost a tiny little bit of respect for you, Mike.
Z, surrounded by corn.
Where any humor in a game that comes across like you grabbed a child's Mad Libs and you picked the most like stupid thing you could think of, and then you got a sentence that you like. If that sentence that you came up with because you pick a vegetable, corn, pick an action, a verb, running. Sloth running from corn. If that's funny, I need to change my whole outlook on a lot of stuff.
It's very subtle, Z. Running from corn, there's nothing funny about that. Surrounded by corn.
All right. Let's move it. All right, here we go, Z.
Sad
Atlantis Rising Monstrosities.
Yes.
So here's an expansion from Elf Creek Games, who are on fire right now. They're easily some of the best components of the market. We just took a look at Honey Buzz earlier. Just fantastic looking game. Z thought Atlantis Rising is in his top 1,000 games of all time.
It is indeed in my top 1,000 games. Maybe even in my top 100. Maybe.
Ooh.
You don't know. I've never done a top 100 games list, but if I did, it might be in it. Anyway, this is going to be this is a modular thing. This has a few pieces. Now I played that Medusa Unleashed because they had a print and play of that. But then the Harpies layer gives you a new monster to deal with. It's got a bunch of different parts to it. The coolest thing about it. Whoa. Look at that beast.
Ooh.
You know what I think about it? Here's what I think of it. Atlantis Rising. My thoughts are go back. Go back. How am I supposed to say what I thought of it?
Yeah.
I would say it's one of the most captivating games I've ever played. I mean, it's filled with nail-biting tension, moments of triumph, and highly quotable speech.
Nicely done.
The main thing I'm looking forward to here is the fact that they are focusing on lower player counts.
Yes, me too.
That is exciting for me because I'll be playing this a lot, 2-player, maybe 3, right? Or maybe solo. But that's a big part of what they're pushing for is new components, new stuff. By components, I mean like that you're trying to achieve in the game that are targeted at fewer people sitting around the table. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. I know. Look at those deluxe components.
I might just buy these deluxe components for other games. They're so good.
They are. And the crazy thing is I've got the retail edition, and those components are no slouch either. I mean, just the components in the base game are incredible. So, yeah, this is
they
a game
quoted you twice?
Of course they quoted me twice.
Would you say that the Medusa expansion is a thrilling? I lost it. I can't see what.
I'm not sticking there.
I would say that. I would say the Medusa expansion is very thrilling. I lost it.
Oh my word!
It's a good game. I like Atlantis Rising quite a bit.
Where's my quote? I gave him one.
You were there. No, you're there.
Yeah, you
were up closer to the. You were closer to the top.
You're the first one, Tom. Who else would they quote before you? You're at the very top.
No, everybody. Yeah, my only concern is I was talking to Mike about this earlier. When I played Atlantis Rising, it's a great, fantastic game. I just didn't sit there and think, man, I wish I had an expansion.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
Now, if it's modular, I have less of a problem with it because you can just take different pieces and put them in. Like when you added the Medusa thing, was that much complexity?
No, not really. She jumps around, petrifying your people, and they stay in that spot where you put them. They turn to stone, of course, and then you have to go through some trouble to free them again so that you can reuse that location again.
Wow.
That's what she does.
What's the positive thing it adds?
What was it? There are, I think, artifacts you can build that help you, I think is what it was.
Better be.
And then also if you, it might make the game harder, ultimately. Also, if you, it's cool because if you defeat Medusa, you can do this anyway, I guess. But if you want to, be thematic about it, when you defeat Medusa or the game with Medusa in it, you then get a new companion who is Medusa uncursed, basically. It's this lady who was Medusa,
like an ally,
a normal lady, and then you can use a character that is her with a new power. So that's pretty. That's cool. Pretty neat. That's neat.
Yeah. Sounds like it strikes a thrilling balance of new challenges and magical rewards. I personally can't wait for the rest.
You yourself? Okay, that's
me.
Nice.
That's a quote
Mike
thief
Delisio.
there.
I personally.
Mike Delisio. Plagiarism in public. All right, let's move on. Before we go any farther, let's take a break and listen to one of our contributors, and then we'll be back.
Hey, board gamers. BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back with another episode of Crowdsurfing Lanyap. That's right, I'm bringing you projects that won't break your budget, but throw in a little something extra. Here's what I'm checking out this week. From first-time designers Sindri and Emilio, all the way from Reykjavik, Iceland, comes a new card game, Reckless Sloths, out on Kickstarter right now and already funded. I don't have a copy, so I haven't played it, but luckily the Kickstarter page has some cool videos to explain the game. By the way, the intro video, one of the funniest Kickstarter videos I've ever seen. Well done. It's a pretty simple card game. You're going to compete against the other players to rescue reckless sloths from terrible dangers. Things like ice, tigers, and corn? Yes, it's that kind of game filled with sight gags and silly humor that plays in about 20 minutes. The game itself seems pretty intuitive with some familiar mechanics. Take a hand of cards, draw a new card, play as many power cards as you like, and then save a sloth. First 1 to 5 wins. So, what makes it interesting? First, the artwork is cute, perfect for the style of game, and was illustrated by Sindri's mom, a professional artist. Second, I like the way that players save the sloths and then get stronger during the game, saving a glow-in-the-dark sloth. It lets you draw more cards. I mean, you're a mutant after all. That reminds me, yes, this is one of those games where cards you play can affect other players too. So know that going in. There's nothing wrong with the little player interactivity as long as it doesn't crash the game. Finally, I love the lanyap in the project. For only $18, you get a copy of the base game, but you can also get add-ons for fun stuff like playmats, t-shirts, or even a sloth plushie. So that's Reckless Sloths, out on Kickstarter right now. It's a pretty simple little card game that has zany humor and a lot of fun art. Sure, we see a lot of projects like this on Kickstarter, but isn't that what Kickstarter's for? Here's a young couple in Iceland, board gamers with a dream and a fun little card game. Who knows what comes next for them? And until next time, laissez les bon temps rouler.
Hey folks, and welcome to FOMO, the segment where I take a look at a game, seeking crowdfunding. Maybe I fear missing out on it, maybe you do too, and we take a look together. Now, I've been away for a few episodes. I've been busy running a Kickstarter. But today, we're going to take a look at Atlantis Rising Monstrosities. Now, this is an expansion for a game I previously covered here on FOMO during the first Kickstarter, and a game that I also really loved the original. But let's be honest, I love the new version of this game so much more. And so what Monstrosities is going to do is it's going to, you know what this reminds me of? When we covered the expansion for Rorik. That's where I'm going to lay off with this. Because when we covered the expansion for Rorik, I described that as an expansion I didn't know I needed, but now I wish I always had. That's what this expansion is. It's an expansion I didn't know that I needed, didn't even ever think I needed, but now that I have it, or rather will have it, I kind of always felt like I wanted it. So what we're going to have here is we're going to have a new phase in the game where we're going to have monsters acting, and there's going to be a scenario thing. So we're going to have Medusa, who's going to be turning people into stone, and we can craft a mirror to turn her to our side. We're going to have harpies that are going to be stealing things and people, and we can go fight them and try to get back our stuff. But they're going to be causing additional problems for us while the island's going. We have new components that we can build. We have magical items. We have new characters that I absolutely adore. And the thing that I love the most are these new allies. These new allies give us unicorns, centaurs, griffins, mermaids, and they're going to be an additional thing that we can help make this a little more asymmetric, but give us these cool options that happen to be available to us during that particular game. And next game, I may not see them. So overall, also the wonders. The new wonders are amazing. Some of the new misfortunes. Everything in here feels like taking a game that I already love and I've played a ton and just setting it to hard mode. But in these options, I can decide what I want to do. If you're a solo player, this is absolutely a must-have expansion. I love that they're also allowing you to get the original Kickstarter Deluxe components during this Kickstarter as well. So this is just a fantastic buy for a game that I already love. It's so high on everyone's list, and it just gives you another option, another way to play the game. Anyway, that's going to be my discussion on Atlantis Monstrosities, and I will see you folks next episode.
Alrighty, let's take a look here at a title which I actually think is a quite good title for a board game, and that's Brick and Mortar.
Yeah.
So it's about opening stores. The cover is cute. It looks like it's Villages. You know that company that made Villagers, right. I mean.
Yeah,
it looks like that.
Yeah.
The board itself is a little spreadsheet looking almost.
It sounds, they make it sound like it's a thinky, heavy game.
Yeah.
But there's no video. It looks cartoony, so I can't really get a good read of how.
Yeah, but if it's an economic game, I'm actually pretty excited about this one. If it's buying and selling goods and stuff, it looks neat, and they sound like. I like an economic game if the theme of it is also fun and stuff, and this looks like it could do that.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't
also,
look short either.
It's got a really nice.
A couple hours.
Both the Kickstarter and the game have a real clean, well-finalized look. It's this guy's first game. Yeah. You know, it's his first
What do you think of his name of his company?
What is the name? I don't see it.
Octoraph.
Octoraph. Whatever.
That's a giraffe with 8 heads, I think.
Yeah, apparently.
I want to see the logo. That logo would be cool.
That's true. I wonder if there is a logo anywhere. Now I'm looking for the logo.
I don't think there is such a thing yet.
Come on, that's got to be here now. There's all kinds of different backer levels. Okay. I really like this.
There it is, right there. You passed it. You passed it. Right there.
Oh, no, it's an octopus and a giraffe. You were so wrong.
Not even close, Tom. Hey, can we go to the artist? They were talking about who the artist is up there. I want to see what else that artist did, because I'm with you. I really like the look of it. Tristram Rawson.
He's done Kingswood, Cosmic Colonies, Tranquility. Oh, well, there you go then. Oh, and he did that Mariana Trench, which we'll be talking about.
Later. Okay.
That's funny. This guy's all over the news today.
Yeah, he is.
Tristram Rawson is bringing it.
It's a good-looking game.
All right, Grand Austria Hotel. Let's waltz! Expansion and deluxe upgrade. Now, this one is breaking the doors down, which is pretty impressive considering this game did not come out in the last couple years. It's been like 5 years now.
It's disgustingly old in board game years.
It is.
Well, yeah, in board game years, it's a doddering old man. But so this one, I was a little hesitant on when I first heard about it because I feel like this game already has a lot going on. I don't need more stuff. No, not that. You're old. It has all these modules. Okay, that's the typical thing with Euro games. But from what I was told from Rado, they fixed that main problem with the game, which was the snake movement, the snake action. Okay. So in this game, you draft dice and then you take turns. And so Z, if you go first, then Mike would go second, Roy would go third, I would go fourth and fifth. Then Roy goes sixth, Mike 7, you go 8. Yeah. The time between your first and your 8th turn could be 15 minutes.
Yeah, I like it.
Super. So if they fix that problem, I mean, I love the game, but I won't play it with more than 3 for that reason.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's an interesting, I don't know. I mean, the upgraded components certainly, I've been debating on these upgraded components because I think I've already upgraded mine better than these.
Ooh, excuse us. Hey, I'm curious. How come this says Lookout first created? They've never done a Kickstarter before?
I don't think so.
Look at that.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I think we actually even talked about that maybe in the news a while back, that this was the first Kickstarter that Lookout was going to do. And you were talking about something to do with Asmodee. I can't remember exactly what it was, but
they are owned by Asmodee, so maybe Asmodee didn't have any faith in this one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's doing well though.
It really is. Yeah, and man, good. There is a ton of stuff included with it. So
yeah.
I wonder now they'll put other things like an expansion of Caverna, an expansion to Agricola. Who knows?
This might be a good way to get that to people.
Right. This artwork and style is so iconic that I have a feeling that this is going to immediately give confidence to people that love this Euro game. You know what I mean? This feel. This project looks like, if you are into these midweight Euro games, this is going to be like giving you the shivers and your hair is going to be standing up on your arms. So
this is a lightweight game, by the way. Very light.
Sure. Let's roll.
Sure. All right. Speaking of light games, we have
now we're talking about a medium weight.
So this is a game. It looks like a solitaire war game. It looks it does not look that heavy. I mean, there's these cards that have a good chunk of text on them, but it's mostly flavor text.
If you look directly to the right, it says Old School War Games is the grognard wing of Worthington Publishing. So I get the sense this is maybe not simple, but I could be wrong.
I don't
You're
know.
the one who's gonna play this, Mike. This is a solo game, so this is all you, buddy.
This is
How
like a weird.
excited are
in
you
about
on
3
a
months.
scale of 1 to 3? How excited are you to play this?
Let's waltz. Look, I would certainly, were it given to me as a task for this job, I would absolutely do it. But again, war games are something that I still have not really dipped my toe into very much.
Tom, I think he said he wants his toe dipped.
But I will say this. It looks like the designer is the one that designed the State of Siege system. And I have played a State of Siege game before. I want to say, is it Dawn of the Zeds is a State of Siege game, or maybe Zulu on the Ramparts. I've played.
He's really disappointed that he was hoping just for a laugh at what he said, and you answered way more information than he was prepared for.
No, that's good. I'm glad he's talking. I'm not talking. That's great. Leave him alone, Tom. Hey. Go ahead. Zulu on the Ramparts.
That's right. I could.
All right. Anyway. Star Scrappers Orbital. This look at what it just basically says. From the designer of Terraforming Mars, nothing else needed to be said. No. People were going to back this. No. I was actually pretty excited about it, and then I found out that this is actually a remake of a game that was actually the first game, or maybe the second game, that the Frixilius team put out. And I went back and looked at that one, and I think I gave it a 6. I thought it was okay. This looks way better than that one did. In fact, if they can put out graphics like this, where were they in Terraforming Mars?
Right.
It's a different company, man.
Yeah. My main concern about this is the table space. Believe it or not, the way that the game looks to be designed, it looks like it is just this big sprawling thing on the table, and every player has these cards in different orientations and different directions, and that to me looks like it might be a recipe for disaster, but I don't know. Just from a usability standpoint, I wonder if that would be a problem. But the game might be good. Did you know it's from the designer of Terraforming Mars?
Oh.
So
what? It's the back.
I agree. This looks pretty good, man. I like the look of the cards. I like the idea. I like the video was good for this one. Actually, it made sense. It was well played. Well laid out. They taught me something. The most important being, it's from the guy who did Terraforming Mars. So just shut up and back it.
Why back this game? Terraforming Mars, fool. All right. Here's my dice project for the week.
Oh my goodness, the most
Summit
legible
dice collection
of all dice.
Shut up. 3D printed cast metal dice that I'm pretty sure when you throw them, they instantly break.
They look like it. Yeah, they look like it. Not meant to be rolled. It says the fine print.
These are actually not dice. These are the skeletons of other dice. If you were able to take a die apart, this is what you'd find inside.
Wow, that's cool. It's like if there's an alien race that looks like dice, this is what their remains look like. I like that.
So we're coming up close to Thanksgiving here. So could you maybe take one of these skeletons and wrap it in delicious ham? Would you then maybe have a ham die that you could then roll and use in competitions?
I am super confused, Mike, where you're going with some of your things sometimes.
Look, I'm just saying, I see these, I think ham dice. Is that, what's weird about that?
Fantastic.
Thanks.
I do like that retro punk one.
Yeah.
The problem with these is the same that you mentioned already at the very beginning. You can't read them.
You can't see a thing.
You're going to roll the die, and everyone's going to be like, what did you roll? None of your business.
A 20. Are you sure? It's a 20.
These are so weird.
Yeah.
They look cool, right? I mean, like, from a design point of view, they look cool. They just don't look very functional.
If we would have these in the studio, if there was a zombie apocalypse, I'd be like, throw some dice. There's people chasing us. We drop them out of the back of our car with caltrops all over the road.
Right.
Dark Venture, Battle of the Ancients, inspired by a record cover from the 70s.
As is the video.
Yeah, the video is actually, I got a kick out of the video because they were going for a very, just like this game, this whole game is going for a very, very specific aesthetic. It's an aesthetic that I happen to find unattractive, but they are definitely unique in what they're going for. It reminds me of some other, what was that game? Is it Dungeon Degenerates? There's another game I think that has this kind of a similar look and feel to it. And it's going to be very much, kind of a Marmite thing. Some people are going to love it. And other people are going to think it's pretty off-putting. And I'm kind of in that category. I don't really like the look of it. But
you don't like Marmite? Oh, okay.
Well, look, Marmite on a D20.
Don't start wrapping stuff in ham. Wrap stuff in ham? I'm super confused.
I'm not even really that big of a fan of ham, but anyway, no, this game is it looks like it's one that maybe is not for me, but I do think that it's going to appeal to a subset of gamers that like this look, that like this kind of an aggressive, maybe aggro, all over the place type of a feel.
I don't know. See, the vibe I'm getting is that this is evoking that time period, but I'm getting that vibe that it's doing it in both its look, but also its gameplay. Why would I want that? I wouldn't mind a game that looks like it came from the 80s, but I don't want a game that feels like, that plays like it came from the 80s. And I worry this is doing that.
This. They have the dead horse here, the pale horse, and Arrow the horse.
Yeah.
Arrow's like, what's up, dudes?
Yeah. Arrow's just chilling.
Oh, a linen textured box.
Ooh.
I don't think that's not something I think anyone's asking for.
What about the soundtrack?
How about the secret hero?
Cthulhu.
I
was going to say, based on the hero, I see tentacles.
All right, let's move on. Mariana Trench, we just were talking about this. Now, this one is pretty impressive. It has 1,000 backers. It's only 28,000, but that's because the game is fairly inexpensive. Whereas it's like 18 euros, 24 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
I am interested in this one. The Mariana Trench is always, it's that thing that fascinates me whenever I hear about it, like what's down there, But the artwork on this looks cool. The game looks fairly simple. It's illustrated by famous Tristan Rosson, mentioned in Dice Tower videos.
That dude is everywhere. That dude is all over the place. Yeah, this looks great. I'm assuming Mike feels the same way. It's a solo game, and it looks really neat. I'm captivated by it. I'm super in for this.
Yeah, great looking art, awesome theme. I'm with you, Tom. I love that idea of the Mariana Trench. Fast playing, small box. I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope it does well.
It's like a good price point. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Trust me, I'm a superhero. No, wait. I'm sorry.
Geez.
Trust me, I'm a superhero. Right. A card game of debatable heroism from
card game of debatable originality.
This video was
NSFW deck.
This video was painful.
Uh-huh.
And it wouldn't end.
No, it just kept going.
And by the end of the whole thing, I still had no idea what the game was about.
Oh, it's Super Fight. That's what the game is about.
It is, right? But at no point in the video, by the way, it's just some people like sort of LARPing badly. But at no point in the video do they make it clear that the game is one of those debate games in which you try to make your case for whatever. It's not.
Why are all the people in this town screaming for help in the nude?
They're looking. They're help because they're looking for their clothes. I don't know.
It has a very Greek chorus vibe. Those images.
Yeah, it does. I just don't know why
All right.
Why?
We're wasting our time.
How
Let's
is
move
this
on.
different? How
Let's
is this
move
different
on.
than anything?
This
Okay,
is-
all right.
This is garbage. This is not worth. I mean, like we've already given it way too much attention. Here's another fantastic video.
Okay, but I put this one in because I was intrigued by the theme, and the whole thing just had a different look to it than everything else. I'm not saying it's good, but it doesn't look like everything else. The whole idea of skeptics investigating paranormal stuff, that's a cool theme.
I'm a little surprised that this one is doing as poorly as it is. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, it looks like
it might be because of the components, Mike. They look pretty cheap.
I guess, but I mean, do they look cheaper than other ones that we've seen that have done well? I don't know that they look that much cheaper. It looks like a standard cooperative game. I mean, with like you said, a kind of a little twist to a paranormal theme. I'm really surprised. This is one where I would have thought it'd be doing a little bit better. Now, like you said, Z, the video is not doing it any favors. And that may be
such a waste of time. Why would you waste the first impression you're making doesn't mention your game? Why would you do that? And the game looks cool. Once I watched the video, I was like, who cares? I don't know what this is. I got down to the components and I'm like, but it looks kind of good. Right? That was my train of thought. So why not show some of that cool looking stuff in the video? Put it up at the top. Yeah.
Well, it's their first created game. This might be something that they learn from it. If they are not able to pull it off, maybe they can relaunch and learn, because I don't know. I think it looks like an interesting game. I certainly one that should be doing better.
I like the theme so much that we're a group of people trying to go and debunking something that's happened. That's just how many board games do that? I can't think of any actually. You know, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's neat.
Alrighty, well, on that note, let's take another break here for a contributor, and then we'll be back with the rest of the projects.
Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview recap. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be entering into Ancient Combat with puppies. And we're going to be visiting a cosplay convention and hopping on a ship for an epic adventure. And then we're going to be trying to become masters of illusion. Let's get to it. And first up, we have Knights of the Hound Table and their expansion Sails and Tails, introducing Huskies and Corgis into the mix. Now, this is a lighthearted, very accessible family battle card game, and the artwork is just adorable. But what's fun about the theme here is that the dogs have lost all track of who they're supposed to be aligned with, so you have to draft them into your hand and so forth, and then you just battle back and forth. And you use an attack card, you use a defense card, and you finally pick an ability card to go up against your opponent. And then you just battle back and forth until someone wins the day. Then we have USS Freedom. Now the theme on this one is really well done. You're at a cosplay convention, a ship crash lands, you have to jump in and then save the Earth. You have spent 3 years hopping around the galaxy doing 36 play sessions. But what's cool is that the cosplay that you're wearing, all those costumes, all those crew members take on the powers of how they're dressed, adding a lot of new fun elements to the game. And you're going to be battling it out. You're going to be encountering creatures on worlds. You're going to be at a galactic level, then on your ship, and then on a planet. Some really interesting gameplay here. And then we have Levitation, Masters of Magic. Now, the thing that's neat about this game is that it uses a lot of historical references to all these old illusions. They even have references to some of the masters from back in the day. And you're basically going to be utilizing their abilities, drafting dice, learning these different illusions, and then activating them, getting the bonuses. And in the end, it's all about getting points. But I like the historical aspect about this one. And it's so hip deep in magic that even the round tracker is a little magic trick. All right, so my pick of the week. You know, USS Freedom, hands down, wins it for me this week. It is just such a huge, expansive game. And the thing is that there's so many possible encounters. The game is just kind of endless. You can experience vastly different play from session to session and from campaign to campaign. So I'm really excited about this one. I love the different levels, from the galactic level to the ship when you're battling other ships, going down to a planet and battling it out there. So lots of interesting things as you explore the galaxy. And in the end, you're trying to save the Earth and find different technologies and align with different races. All right, folks, if you want any more information about any of these games that I mentioned here today, please go check out our full previews. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
All righty. Here's one of the biggest Kickstarters of the week.
Sing us a song, Tom. Sing us a song, would you? Come on.
Okay, when I first heard the name of this, I was pumped. I was like, oh, Bardsung. Is this this is a dungeon crawl about bards? And yes, maybe, not really. It's another dungeon crawl. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
No,
then I saw it was from Steam Forged Games, and I was like, oh. I mean, the miniatures are always good. Steam Forge makes some of the best miniatures on the market, I think.
Sure.
They look good. We just got, what's the game we just got in that we haven't opened yet, I think?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Right. And I just saw a review of that, which was not positive, and I was like, oh, again,
What else
these guys
have
sure
these
make
guys
good
made?
games.
They made
let's
Dark
take a look here.
Souls.
So Resident Evil, the board game, which we haven't played. Devil May Cry, which we have sitting here in the studio somewhere.
Yeah.
Dark Souls, the board game, which is just awful.
I heard
It's a lot of
God
video
Terror's not
games.
bad.
These guys are really connected to IPs. Is the Bardsung based on something?
I don't
think
know. So.
Yeah. I don't believe so.
All right.
There's a cave shark. That's cool.
Ooh, I do like a good cave shark. I like to sing an ode to a cave shark. Bring.
I
kind of wish they had leaned into the bard thing a little bit more. I mean, because that is actually
the whole thing. It's like, oh, you're doing things that bards will sing about. Oh, so then that's no different than every other dungeon crawl.
Right. Yeah. You should have been playing as bards.
There's a twist. There would be a twist hidden in there somewhere that it looks like they missed or purposely didn't pursue. And I agree. If you're making another giant miniatures game, man, seek out your twist. Seek out your hook. And it cannot be, hey, we also have amazing minis. So does everybody else at this point. That's the one thing that everybody's bringing to the table. You got to bring something else.
Well, they do have procedural generated dungeons, so that's different.
Nobody
where the
cares.
dungeon is...
Go ahead. Finish.
Who cares?
Go ahead.
I
Finish.
think.
Go ahead.
So actually,
nobody cares about your procedural. Actually,
no, I think that's cool because the dungeon will be different from game to game, so that's kind of a fascinating thing. And if it's as simple as they're promising, which again, I'm hesitant with their last games, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. The 3.5 minutes of scrolling on the page kind of, I think, takes away from the idea of it being a simple game.
Here's the quote. Wow, that was really good fun. It's quick and easy to follow. Sorry I died.
Is that dude's name the King of Average? Go back up. Right there. Looks like a solid game. I had a lot of fun. The King of Average. That's awesome. I love that dude. I gotta check out his channel.
No, you don't want to.
I'm gonna check it out, dude. I'm gonna check it out. That looks cool.
All right, let's jump over to a
facetious.
smaller.
I'm actually gonna check out that dude.
And I wasn't being facetious either. The Warp board game. Sci-fi board game of extermination.
This one is right on the edge of funding. I mean, it is like within $1 or $2.
Really?
This one, yeah, look at that.
Wow.
Less than $100.
It's one turtle jump away from funding.
Actually, Mike, it's 1,000 away now.
Well, okay. Well, just because we started talking about it. Now, this doesn't do a lot. This also, I know that we use the complaint that it looks derivative and what's new, but a lot. But this that's what I felt. First of all, it just didn't look like it did anything different. It's just generic sci-fi. I don't.
What about the
what's
video?
the hook?
What about
what's
the video?
The hook?
Didn't the video show you what you were getting? That video was very helpful. It was three aliens. Yes. The first one spoke English. The first, the second alien spoke water bubbles.
Right.
And then the third alien spoke angry growls.
Right.
And then once they were done speaking, the video was over, and I still had no idea what kind of game they were trying to sell me.
And yet, you had hit the back
designs rival Gygax. It's like, come on, guys. No, you gotta.
This really looks like a Fantasy Flight game from the late 90s. Don't you think, Z? This looks like one of those late 90s Fantasy Flight games.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate the art, though. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Not the art. I guess the art, I'm mad on the art, but the graphic design I really dislike.
Feels old. Feels found and like recycled, man. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Unfortunate. There's a lot of this kind of stuff. I mean.
Yeah.
So here's a small game that's not funding, but I was kind of intrigued by how it looked. Because this one looks clean.
This looks cool. I think this looks really cool. This is another one that I don't understand why it's not doing better than it is. I think this looks, I was just giving grief to the last one for looking generic. This does not look generic. It looks very, very unique. I'm actually very interested in this one. And look at the monkey.
Super weird.
Barbary.
It is weird. Yeah.
Well, the problem I have with this art, though, Mike, I like this art, but that is literally a human with a monkey head. Cover up the head, and you wouldn't know it was an ape at all. Okay. Where's its tail?
Right. Now, explain to me what the problem is with that, though. Well, look, I mean, you're right.
Weird.
I mean, that is. Of course, it's weird, but we've seen a lot of things like, where people will kind of have these anthropomorphic animals, but this is just doing it in a slightly more realistic way, I suppose. I don't know. I just am surprised it's not doing better. There's nothing about the project that to me looks like it's underdone or underdeveloped, or, I mean, they go into a lot, Z, we've been talking a lot about how much projects this week, we don't know anything about it based on what's on the page. And this is telling you a lot about the game.
That's true.
It may not be something you're interested in, but you're going to know what the game is about through the project. So I'm just surprised it's not doing better is really my big thing.
That's true. I agree that they at least give you the information you need to decide. That's important. You don't want to, it's not just about having a cool looking video. You got to also let people know what they're probably getting so that they can back you and be happy through the process. Not just back you because your video was cool and then they realize they don't like your game. I don't understand that. That's a one-time customer. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Someone in the comments
Tom found something
he lost his tail in the war. Stop bringing it up.
That's right. It's too soon, Tom. Too soon.
All right. Here's a huge Kickstarter that has the biggest potential to be a bust of any of them. And that is Infinity Game Table by Arcade 1-Up. And this, at first glance, you're like, oh, yeah, another way to play Monopoly. But they have more than Monopoly on this thing. Even though I'm pre-warning you for Z's canned rant that he's done the last 4 weeks in a row.
But I have a feeling Z's not going to use that rant this time. Because this is a proven tech company that you can go to Walmart and get their little arcade cabinets. You know what I mean? I think their tech, they've kind of proven themselves there. My issue is, what are the games?
Well,
and
they got,
with the exception of
Pandemic
one or
and
two,
Ticket to Ride.
That's it.
Well, that's two.
Now, my rant is different. It's not about the tech. It's the fact that you are buying a one-use iPad. I mean, like, this is at $500, I think it is, right? To get the 24-inch table.
Small one, yeah.
It's big by iPad standards. I mean, it's like a it's a chunky iPad, basically, a flat one. It does one thing. I'm not buying it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not getting the usefulness of this.
No.
I don't get why it has to be a table. Can't you put it on a table?
Right. It's a
it's
like I don't want to lean over.
of...
I don't want to lean over to do that. That you know how these people are leaning over in this video? That would hurt my back after a while.
Yeah, they're definitely kind of leaning over to see what's going on, right? You're not going to have a great viewing angle on this thing, probably.
Right.
I'm just not feeling it. I looked at this and I thought, so it's an iPad, like probably, I guarantee you, one made by Apple with the quality of the screen that Apple has, the touch recognition that Apple products are going to have, or like a Samsung product. This is going to be a low quality iPad that plays a handful of games for $500. I'm not seeing it. You know what I mean? Even for people who are like techie pioneers that are on the cutting edge of what's cool and new, and they happen to be into board games, still not buying into those people being interested.
I think I would play it, Z. I would be if I had a chance, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll play this, but I don't know that I would buy it. There's a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm talking out of my butt because it's made $1 million.
Right.
Well,
I do think that this company, though, has really kind of forged its place a little bit in the marketplace, and I think that they're drawing some people that maybe aren't traditionally in the board gaming hobby that are into this because, I know Battleship, I know Monopoly, I know Scrabble, and maybe they've played one of these little arcade cabinets or they have one at home. And so they feel comfortable, putting down a significant amount of money because it's a company that they're familiar with. That's just a guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Clearly not for me. And I just think this is going to come and go. I do.
Right.
Here's the other extreme of size. We have Rune. This is a reprint and new micro expansion. We actually have this, I believe, on the shelf in our to be played
a little box. Yeah.
You know what? I guess I'm gonna have to play this one because even when I look at it, I'm thinking, it doesn't look that exciting to me. But
what are you thinking? You're thinking what?
Hang on, I'll do it again.
Got it. I understand.
Or in other words,
interesting.
I better stop.
Yeah, that was that's not good for your health, Tom.
Right, you need some privacy pretty soon.
Correct. We need one of those "Be Right Back" screens to come up. Yeah, this just kind of looks a little print and play to me. It doesn't have a lot of pizzazz. It doesn't. I mean, I know it's an abstract, so don't get me wrong. And they're not charging too much, but I don't know. This just doesn't do a whole lot for me.
Well, I mean, it is $11, so
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
there are a lot of games by now that have a card broken up into 6 pieces, and you use that card as a tile.
Right.
There's a lot of those, okay? I guarantee you these people probably haven't played any of them, but there are a lot of them. I'm cool. I don't really want yours also. It's just...
Yeah.
I don't know. Seeing something like this makes me feel like maybe they got to play more games. I don't know. I know that sounds harsh, but...
Yeah.
At the same time, a lot of backers.
Yeah.
How many is it? 834.
That's wild, man. That is wild. Good for them.
Yeah.
All right. EastFront Series Wargaming Map and Bundle. So this is a huge neoprene wargaming map for this whole EastFront Series by Columbia Games. I actually thought this was pretty cool. It's very specific, right? But if you're playing these Columbia Games, their maps are not anything to write home about. But having a neoprene mat, that's pretty neat. And
yeah,
that's large.
If you like these Columbia Games, that's Grant from the company there. I'm not going to play this. But if I did play these, and I play Columbia block games, a couple of them, they're not that complex compared to many other war games. But having that huge map, it would feel good. I mean, they have their audience, 100 guys want this.
Does that map play multiple different games? They happen to play on the same map?
Yeah, because as you can see here, there's Eastern Front, West Front, and Euro Front, different sides of the war. So it probably just takes those maps, and they're like part of that big map.
Yeah, it's just
and
putting
possibly
all of those
there's a way to
theaters of war
combine them.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah. My question, I mean, I think it's a really neat idea, and like you said, they have an audience for it. But is it $149 just for the mat?
Yeah.
That's pretty high.
I don't know, Mike, because
Really?
well, look how big it is, and then
It's
compare that
big.
to how much we pay. Compare that to how much we pay for mats that are half that size or 1/3 that size.
Sure.
I want to get
Okay,
this thing as a mouse pad.
There you go. I like
He
it.
means for his pet mice. All right. Escape the Dark Sector, expand the universe. This is for Escape the Dark Sector, which was a sequel to Escape the Dungeon, a game in which they are not allowed. It's created by people who are anti-color, so everything's in black and white. I have not played Escape the Dark Sector. I played Escape the Dungeon. I trashed it, and I was told by many, many people what an idiot I was because I said I disliked the artwork and I disliked the fact that you just kind of turn the card and see what happens next. That being said, this one,
Tom.
I'm not interested in at all either. But
Go ahead, say it, Tom. Say it.
I still hate the artwork. What is with that guy?
Ooh, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Look at that guy. Is his head a planet? Are those pus things coming out of his head?
Is a
Is
magic
it an
8 ball.
egg?
It's a magic 8 ball. That little triangle is floating through the surface and says,
Ah,
yes,
so
you need to
creepy.
buy this game.
I know that.
Yeah, look
people
into
like this.
into his eyes, Tom. Look into his eyes.
Oh!
Keep
I won't.
looking. Before too long, you'll be clicking that back this project button. Yeah, it doesn't do a lot for me. It's
like
very.
the-
I mean, it's doing a lot
I like
of
the look.
doing a lot of business though. It's over like what 144,000 on this. 205.
So
Man,
they do really
That's
well.
really-
Like I said, they did. Here's the other ones they did. Escape the Dark Castle, not the dungeon. Escape the Dark Castle. That one did really well, and I thought once people play it, they won't back the next one. Nope, I was
You're
wrong.
man. I'm telling you, they've got an aesthetic. You can say that about them. They're consistent. You can also say that about them. They're doubling down on that black and white. Let me tell you.
I like the look, actually. I like it.
Do
I don't know
you?
if the game's any good, but I actually like that look. Yeah.
All right,
I like
well,
it more than I like it much more than the other couple of games we've looked at this week that were meant to be like old, quote unquote, like supposed to look like they're from the 70s or the 80s or whatever. This has that vibe, but I also don't find it kind of like dusty and old and obtuse.
I cannot disagree more with you on this one.
This
really
this
dislike
looks like
it.
something that's drawn on the front of a Peachy folder in high school to me, but that's all right. To each their own. I mean,
I'm in, man. I'm in.
All right. The next game is
Go ahead.
Pachacanu.
No,
No,
Pachacuna.
try again. Sound it out.
Pachacuna.
Pachacuna, yeah.
Pachacuna.
Now, here's another one where I'm just enamored with how pretty. That's a super pretty cover. The pieces look cool. I mean, the game looks abstract as all get out, but it looks really cool. I don't know. This is one I want to play, if only because of the bright colors and the fact that it looks different than most other games out there. I like those little llamas with the cubes in them.
I think it looks great, actually. And I'm not a big, 2-player only game because I just don't tend to play those very often. But I like the conceit of this, which is basically that the black llama can travel over the black tiles and the white llama goes in the recessed areas between those. And it's really a pick up and deliver mechanic, which I tend to like. It's gorgeous. I like kind of some of the idea behind it where they're getting local artisans to create the bags. there's nothing about this project that I don't like. I think it's a really, really good looking project. Yeah, I was kind of charmed by it.
I agree with you, Mike, 100%. This looks great. I mean, this looks fantastic. I agree, and I do like 2-player games. What's
I like how Mike's
funny
like, I don't know if
about
I play
this?
2-player games because I can't find some partner.
Well, look,
You know what's interesting about this game is that I think it looks great the way it is. I love the theme. It's clearly abstract, but I like what they're going with here. But part of me is, I keep thinking of, my mind is fascinated by what this would look like if this was like one of those Chris Berm gift type games. You know what I mean, Tom? Doesn't this, like if this was one of his and it was black and white and all these pieces were plastic pieces with 2 levels, white and then like a black plastic piece on top, and you did everything that this is doing but in plastic bakelite, I don't know. I think that would be gorgeous, man.
It is, but I don't hate this. I like this.
I like this too. I kind of want to play both, but I agree. This
You're
looks
so
this
greedy.
looks
He's making up. What I would prefer is it also some other game.
I want both. I want both. I do.
All right. The Long Road, World War III with a paranormal twist as opposed to normal World War III.
Yeah,
Which
I'll tell you what. I
definitely
think
happened.
there's some assumptions being made here. How do we know that World War III is not going to have a paranormal twist? I mean,
Right.
I think we're putting the cart in front of the horse a little bit here.
Ooh, cartless horses. No, horseless
Yeah.
carts.
It's a war game with that modern warfare, basically with werewolves. I don't know.
I
I
saw a
think it's
lot of
based
dice
off of
rolling
books.
in the videos. In the
Yeah.
video I saw of it in here, there was a lot of dice chucking. So, nah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm about to get sad here. Vabank.
Why are you
Why
sad?
isn't this one funding?
It's got you all over
love-
it, Tom.
Yeah, why is this doing so badly?
So Vabank is such a great game. It looks boring. It's by one of my least favorite designers in the universe. Has paper
Wow.
money. No, that's true.
I
As
know.
the
I know. I'm aware. I've heard it.
I actually tried to get this for the Dice Tower Essentials.
Look at this.
I
Just
think it's a
nothing
great-
but Vassal there.
At conventions, I play this all the time. I always bring this out, and everyone has a good time. It's silly. I'm just surprised it's not doing that well. Man, it looks good, I think.
I don't know. I don't know what it
that the
is.
project looks great. I don't know that the project looks great. I mean, I don't mind this here, but I don't know. This part here, this looks kind of cheap to me. But the game sounds like a blast. I mean, I like this. Gambling, bluffing. I mean, I'm down for that.
How much is it,
I don't
Tom?
think this looks great.
Put down a little bit on the side.
That's probably it. $43 is pretty pricey.
That's kind of pricey. Yeah, the components don't look $43 good. You know what I mean? So that might be it. I think you might have a chance to put it in the Dice Tower Essentials line at the end of the day anyway. So
You may, Tom. Yeah, that ship may not have sailed.
Alrighty,
it looks like it's pulling back into port.
This game is super fun. All right, everybody. While we go to our dumb project of the week, if there's something I missed that's coming out that matters to look at, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, let's take a look at the Burger Buddy
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Burger Buddy.
experience. This actually has almost 1,000 backers, and it looks like a cupcake.
Look, I've got a couple of fundamental issues on this, and I've seen it for about 12 seconds. Number one, how is that going to work? If what you're trying to do is keep from making a mess, you're just going to have mess sliding all over.
No, Mike, this is so that
thing.
you could put this in your car and put the burger down while driving. So you take
the
a
cup
bite
holder.
and stick it in this thing.
I'm back in. If it's a
This
cup
is
holder
a burger
thing.
holder, but this doesn't have a flat side.
I don't think it's made to be held to eat out of. I think it's like to put on a table so you can put a burger in. And
it says
so that
mess free.
Those fools who want it on a plate.
The impression I got was you're supposed to get this so you can eat a burger without making it, so the mess would go inside of that silicone thing, which you're still going to have to wash. But to me, first of all, look, there's a lot of different styles, sizes, makeups of burgers. What if the burger's too big for the Burger Buddy? Now I got to cram this burger into this Burger Buddy? It's going to be it's a complete catastrophe. You're making a lot of assumptions here, Burger Buddy. Not every burger is going to fit in there.
This is one
outrageous.
The infomercial for this is particularly dumb. Has this ever happened to you?
Okay, well let's see if Z's right.
Oh.
Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh no! Look at this guy. You're a monster. Yeah. Oh, it's terrible.
Oh,
they're all wearing white too.
How
I love
many
they're
times?
all wearing white. And this guy, oh, what happened? How am I supposed to eat like this? Introducing Burger Buddy. Now you don't have to eat like a moron.
Oh, you can eat while you're playing trains.
I'm playing with his train. Yeah, but they're not showing what happens. What happens when the burger's halfway gone?
Then
there you go.
You get a second Burger Buddy, and you transfer it.
Look, yes, look at this. Now
you can eat a burger.
All right, now I'm way back in. I am way back. Look, this is fantastic.
I love how this guy's like hitting the gym and having a burger.
The thing is, they're even enjoying the burger more in the Burger Buddy.
Like
it actually improves the flavor.
Fake commercial, right?
Oh, it's expandable. Okay, well maybe I need to take it back. Oh. That shows me.
It's barely in there. Yeah, I was ready to flop out of there.
Cramming it in there. It's hygienic.
It's more hygienic. How?
Oh, this is amazing. I'll buy these for you guys for Christmas.
Please, Joe.
Wow.
Save your money.
They're still not showing what happened. Burger's half gone.
You only eat half the burger. The rest is lost in the exchange of the Burger Buddy.
I love how that one guy's so sad that his girlfriend has the Burger Buddy.
2 to 3 napkins per burger is saved. Look at all that money you're saving. Look at that. He's just making it rain with all that money he saved from napkins.
Jeez.
Wow.
Burgers are more than half. Come on, that guy's almost there. Then he stopped.
I gotta tell you, I'm a little disturbed by the grill marks on the outside of those burger buns too. I don't know how they're making their burgers, but I do not approve.
Okay, guys. Thank you, whoever sent that in to me. That was a great one, folks. If you have one of these for me to demo in future things, that was E1. Thank you for sending that in. That was glorious. All right, Z, what's your pick of the week?
Well, my pick of the week was almost, I got to be honest, almost Pachacuna.
Mm-hmm.
But in a week with not a lot of competition, it is definitely going to Atlantis Rising Monstrosities.
What? I am shocked.
It's something I'm already excited about. I have it. It's got a track record of me likely to enjoy the full package there. This wouldn't have had a lot of competition anyway, and in this batch, certainly doesn't. But there's a couple of others that look good. Like I said, that Pachacuna game any other week might have taken it for me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mike, what about you?
I had 5 I wrote down. Atlantis Rising was one of those. I tell you, I'm gonna pick Pachacuna because I do think that's a great looking campaign. And also, I think, Tom, you're going to pick the other one that was high up on my list. If you don't, then I'll scream that.
Nope, too late.
But Pachacuna, I just even though I don't play a lot of 2-player games, this is a game that if I had in front of me, I'd be very excited to play it. I think it looks great. I love the look of the project, and I hope it continues to do well.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, I suspect where's mine. It is.
MODRULES. Oh,
MODRULES. Where is it now? Here it is.
Yeah, that was the one, Tom.
I wanted to put Vabank. I really did. But, this one, I just like the aesthetics, everything about it. And Tabula Games has a pretty good track record with me. I've enjoyed all their last games, missed the Ikeon. So this one actually looks a little lighter than those other games, and it's prettier. The other ones are kind of spooky almost in how they look. So this is this one looks great, and I love the colors. I'm just a big fan of multicolored games, which is why that Dark Dungeon thing doesn't do anything for me. I want color, black and white.
And I think those little monsters that you have on the screen there, or the animals in minis, look great.
Yeah,
the minis that they made.
They do look good. Yeah, you didn't let me down, Tom. This was the other one I almost picked, so I'm glad you did.
Alrighty, folks, that's a lot of stuff. We're gonna take a break now. We'll be back tomorrow morning with Board Game Breakfast. So come by, say hi to us there, and then tomorrow afternoon with our top 10 unique games with Quentin Smith from Shut Up and Sit Down. We'll see you all then. Until then, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thank you.
I'm Mike Delicio.
Have fun safely eating burgers.
That's right.